Hello again guys, Carlos here from Everything Tech, and this is part 2 of my video regarding the IP camera and how to set it up. So we've done part 1, which was unboxing and first look of the camera, and now we're going to do part 2, which is the setup process. I've already gone through the setup once. I've reset the IP camera and now I'm doing it again so you guys can see. So basically the first step you need to do is to find out the IP of your router. I know what the IP of my router is, and they are very common between 192.168.0.1 and also some of them use 192.168.1.1 and some others use 254 at the end instead of a 1. So my one is 192.168.1.1 and that's it. So I'm inside of my router now. You didn't actually see me putting any password in because my password is in my keychain. I'm using Mac OS X, so all the passwords are stored and it just logs me in as long as I'm in the computer that signed in with my name. Okay, so basically the second part is you need to find out the IP of the actual camera. In my specific router, which is a TP-Link TD-W8960N, it's under device info and ARP, and there you can find all of the devices that are plugged in. Basically I know what all of these devices are apart from this one here. This one I don't know. So this is a new device that is connected to the network and it's connected by cable. So because if it was wirelessly, you wouldn't be able to connect unless it knew the password, because it's cable, it's obviously internal, so there's no need for a password. So now we need to go and put this IP address onto up here. So all I need to do is really just swap the last digit and put a 9, and that's it. I'm inside of the IP cam at this present moment. As you can see, it didn't ask me for any password because I've already inserted it, and it's the same password that you need to insert. This should be a sticker at the bottom of your IP camera that will tell you the login details for the camera. You can change that afterwards, but I found that by changing it, it confused the IP camera, so I don't know if I should change it again or leave it as it is. If it was by cable, it would be okay, but because it's by Wi-Fi, I don't know if somebody can access it remotely. I will try and figure it out and see how it works at a later stage, and then I will let you know in a further video. So the first thing you need to do is obviously change the Chinese language to English, and now you'll be able to see all of the things that you can use to view the inside of the camera. So the first one is mode 1 with IE. So this is in Windows, and you have an OCX download. So you'll be like the best way to watch it is with Internet Explorer. The second one will be Firefox, Safari, browser, etc. And then the third one will be the smartphone. We're going to concentrate on this one because I'm running this on Safari, as you can see. So if I click on that, now I can see the inside of my living room, and I can already move the camera up and down and just have a look around. It's right near the window. I've just got it there for testing purposes, and obviously it's nighttime, so you can see how far actually you can see someone with the LEDs. If you haven't watched the first video, please go and watch it. It's on my channel, and you will explain how many LEDs it's got and further on. So basically we can go up and down as well, but for the time being we just leave that as it is. So the first thing you want to do is to change it from QVGA, which is a lower resolution, to VGA, which is 640 by 480, and you get a much bigger image. Okay, I found that it's very snappy, very good indeed. But right, let's go to the setup process. So to set up the camera, you need to go in here, and this is all the information regarding the camera and what you need in your language. And then Further settings is the name of the camera. You can change this obviously. Every time you change something, instead of clicking apply, you click setup. As apply, it will be as apply. And then device date and settings, I'm going to change that because I'm in the UK. I'm going to choose Greenwich Mean Time, London, Lisbon, Casablanca. Yeah, I leave that as a time sync. And then I'll just press setup, and that's it, it's been changed. Now further down, network configuration. Basic configuration is it's running in port 80. You can also change this bit here, and you will be running with whatever port you want to associate. Just remember, you will need to configure your router to allow this new port, because obviously it's not going to be configured properly. And then the wireless settings. Basically, in all IP cameras, this comes disconnected as default. So all you need to do is using wireless LAN, and then you just do a scan, and you should find the wireless network. There you go. Mine is Tech Network. I just click on that. It's giving me everything, infrastructure and the authentication, and then obviously I just need to put my password in the I've blanked out this part of the screen because obviously this, instead of being dots, it's not, and it's showing my actual password, and obviously I can't have that, so I've changed that. So once you finish, you just click setup. The device will reboot. I'm gonna speed up this part of the video because it's 2 minutes. Okay, so now the IP camera rebooted, and it's now using the IP the Wi-Fi. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to unplug the cable and carry on without the Ethernet cable connected to the router. I'm just going to operate the router via Wi-Fi. Okay, so now I've unplugged the cable. One of the things that you might have noticed, now the IP has changed because I had it plugged in when the router when the IP camera rebooted. It now connected both ways. It connected via cable with the 192.168.1.9 IP address, and now wirelessly it connected also wirelessly with the 192.168.1.10. Then I had to go back in and find out what was the new IP address for the IP camera that the router dished out. So now we're going to carry on and set up the rest of the IP camera. So you change it back to English again, and then you click on number 2, and now I'm seeing it, and it's all connected just via Wi-Fi. It's still extremely quick. I am very, very surprised with speed of the movement. Okay, everything is still remains the same, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to setup, and we're going to carry on. Okay, so you might have noticed that I'm recording this video a few days later, and it's now daytime. You got the chance to see the camera at night time, and you're going to be able to see the camera in the daytime. So why I left this second half of this video to for a later stage is because I was having quite a few problems to begin with, and I wanted to make sure that I would give you the most informative and most constructive tutorial on how to set up the camera. And after playing about with it for a few days, I managed to get every single thing working. There are some niggles in here and there that you'll be able to overcome them, but you know, obviously they're a bit annoying, but for the price that the camera costs, it's obviously still a very good deal. Okay, so I've ran you through the wireless LAN settings and the basic network settings, and obviously the device data, layer settings, device information. And I had recorded this video completely, and obviously I had set up everything like mail service settings, but there were some things wrong and mail wasn't going through because there seems to be a problem with Gmail and Hotmail. as the sender. So I managed to open another account, but I'll carry on, and then I will explain to you exactly what I've done and how I went about and got everything working. Okay, so the first niggle that I've got is that it's impossible to disable the DDNS that the manufacturer provides. I found that sometimes I wasn't able to log into the camera with this DDNS because it was either down or it was inaccessible. So I created my own one, and that's this part here. It doesn't really matter if your manufacturer's DDNS is on. If you want to use a third-party DDNS, you'll be able to do it as well. It's not a problem, it will work still. The first thing I did was to change this port here, HTTP, and I've made this port available. I've changed the default password so nobody can have access to my camera. When you use the third-party DDNS, you'll need to open the port 8012 in your router. In my router, I do it with it's a website. I put it as a server, so you create it as a server and not as a port. Just every router is the same, so obviously I can't really give you instructions on how to open the port, but there's loads of information online. So let's carry on. So basically the DDNS that I've as you know, or as you might be aware, the DYNDNS is now not offering DDNS addresses free. So I decided to go with no IP, but as you can see that there is no IP here. So basically I would be in trouble. No, it's not like that. You can just choose the 9299 and you will work fine. So the username obviously is the username that you created with no IP. And this is that should be created at the no IP website. You just create a free account, and then obviously you create the DDNS, and then you'll be able to put it here, and you will work even if you have a dynamic IP address and the IP address constantly changes, or if the router reboots by chance and you lose the direct link to your camera. So I'm just going to put these details here. So the DDNS host is no-ip.biz, and then that is the same as that, and then obviously the port is the one that I showed you. I left it in mode 1, but I don't know if you want to change that to mode 2 if it doesn't work for your specific router or for your connection. And then you just click setup. Oh, yeah, there you go. So no action. So that means that everything is working as it should. Just for testing purposes, I will just go and put it here, and as you can see, I can go ahead and log in if I want to. And now I am accessing the camera from the outside. Basically, I'm going around, really. I'm getting outside and then I'm accessing the camera from the outside. But this is good because that means that everything is working, and I really won't have a problem accessing it from a mobile network. Okay, so we know that we can access the router from the outside now. So I'm just going to go back inside. So I'm now inside of the router on the inside of the network, and we carry on the tutorial. So this part here is set up, and I'm not going to have any problems with it. The UPnP settings, you just leave that ticked, and it's just normal. It means that the router will port map the connection for you. will map the ports for you. So let's go to the alarm section now. I had already done this. The way that I did it is I wanted motion detected alarm. I wanted it to be sensitive, like a 2. I wanted to link to preset 1. I've set up preset 1 pointing to the entrance to my house. I'll show you in a minute. And I want an email notification when the alarm has been triggered. And I want to upload an image when the alarm has been triggered, and I wanted it to leave it as a one every second. The time schedule, I'm just going to select it all for the purpose of this video, but you can go individually and just record, say, during the day while you're at work, or during the night while you're asleep. And you know, every single square or rectangle that you see here, every single dot, it means 15 minutes. So it's 2:15, 2:30, 2:45, and then 3 o'clock. So it's 15 minutes each slot. So you can leave it for 15 minutes. You can reorganize everything the way that it suits you, basically. So I'm just going to select it all for now, and I'm just going to press setup, and that's saved there. So now the mail service settings. Okay, so I had done this before as well, and now that I know exactly how to do it, it'll be much easier to explain to you how to do it. Okay, so basically up here I had written sender as IP cam as being the name of the sender, but now I'm not going to do that, because it needs to be the email address of the SMTP of the service that you want to use to send your images. So like I said, there is problems with Gmail and Hotmail, so I went ahead and opened a GMX UK account just specifically for this, to send it to my normal address. So I'm just going to put it in. Okay, so this specific server uses SSL. You can create a free account. It's easy to do, and it will save you a lot of time. And obviously you need to put that back in here again. So I could just actually copy it from up here instead of having to type it. And then obviously the password you created for your email address. The one that I want to send to is that's the one that I want to send it to, and then you can just test it, and it should, oh, it's saying that it failed. Okay, we're gonna go and see why it failed. It shouldn't have failed. Sorry, now you have to press setup once everything is done, and then press test, and it should go through now. It was just a bit and there you go. So the test was succeeded, and I received a mail test. Okay, so all of that bit is done now, and now we're gonna go into FTP Service Settings. I had FTP Server as Mango Cam. I don't know if you're aware of it. You can create a free account, and you can record for 24 hours, and they keep the footage for 24 hours, and then they'll delete it afterwards. I used to set up their service here, but I decided to actually access the camera directly, so I won't be needing to insert anything in here. I can just leave this as blank. If you need to do it, just be aware that the FTP service is a lot slower than if Mango Cam accesses your camera directly via HTTP. So if you're unsure about it, all you need to do is go to Mango Cam, and this is their website, so it's mangocam.com. Then you just create an account here, then you'll be able to set up your camera afterwards. I won't go into this, so not to make this video extremely long. I want to go through this as quickly as possible. So the FTP service settings I'm going to leave blank. If you have any questions about this, I know how to set it up. Just drop me a question below this video and I'll be able to answer you. And then the alarm log. This is just a log of all the alarm, how many times the alarm was triggered and what time and what day. And then the user settings. Obviously, this is where you set up your all your passwords and usernames. The PTZ settings. So in here you can call the preset after reboot. So if you set up the presets, I'll explain you how to do that in a minute. Then you'll be able to, like, if the camera reboots, you will go to that position where you wanted it to go. And then maintain, it's obviously to restore factory settings or reboot the device, upgrade the firmware or upgrade the device in web UI. At this present moment, I'm using the firmware version 52.2.0.149 and device embedded web UI version 0.0.1.4. These ones work perfectly. If you're going to start updating the firmware, I would strongly not recommend that because these are clones and you might brick the camera if you start messing about with it, with the firmware and the embedded web UI version. But it's up to you, obviously. So finally, this is what it looks like in the daytime. At the moment I got the builders downstairs, so it's a bit of a mess, but yeah, this is what it looks like. And the camera adjusts really well. I'm really pleased with how quick it actually is, even on the network outside. It's still very, very quick. So in here you can switch off the IR, so like the night vision. This is really good because just because of one thing. At night time you won't be able to, if you were using the camera indoors and it's pointing at the window and the IR lights are on, you won't be able to see anything outside. It's just be white because the IR lights are hitting the window. If the camera was outside, it's different, but because it's inside and it's going through the window, you wanted to have it off. And obviously if it's too dark, I've got a street lamp here, as you can see, and it's very, very good, as you've seen it before at the beginning of this video. But you might have other problems where there's no light at all, and then you might need to get some new lenses with a larger aperture, and so you can let in more light. Okay, so the presets is the last thing that I need to tell you. Of course, I'm using Safari, as I explained, and you have no access to sound or recording. You can take a still and you can obviously go to the settings, but all of these functions work within Windows and the OCX installation. When you install the OCX, as you saw when I logged into the camera, then you will have access to all these features here. Okay, so all of these are standard default. I've just changed the VGA, as you've seen, and the 50 Hz because I'm in the UK, and the frame rate is 25. To set up like presets, all you need to do is point the camera to where you want it to be, and then just click set, and then just choose one of these numbers, and then the number will be where the camera is now. So say I click set 1, when I go call say 1, then it will be there, and then if I call 2, then it will be up here, and if I call 3, because these are all the presets that I've done, and then if I call 4, then it will be there. So yeah, so basically those are all the presets that I've done, and you know, this is the how you set up all the presets anyway. Okay, so this concludes our video. Any questions that you have regarding this, just leave me the question below. Please comment, rate and subscribe to this video, and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.